saw real hunger and real fullness. Now, if you're in the membership, last night was almost exactly, the membership video was very similar to what we've got tonight. We're working in the membership on slow down and savor. And it's hard for me to not have something going on while I ate today. But in practicing that, I have learned, in practicing slowing down and that kind of thing, I've learned it takes me a whole lot longer to eat a meal. Now, I've always self-confessed I am a fast eater. It took me like 30 minutes today to eat a sandwich and one of those little individual tubs of Pringles. It took me over 30 minutes, and my daughter was sitting there with me, and we were visiting, but it wasn't, I was still mindful. The TV wasn't on, I didn't grab my phone, I didn't read a book. I was mindful with my food. And Sarah's latest, and I absolutely love it, affirmation is don't feed your food. I had never thought about cramming another bite in while another bite was still in my mouth, and then another bite. And that's what I've been doing to work on that mindful eating, is don't feed your food. And I told Natalie today, I said, like skinny people just push food around on their plates and you don't ever actually see them eat some of it. I said, that's how I feel eating, because I would take a bite of my sandwich and I had to thoroughly chew it and swallow it, lay it down, get a chip, and it just so happens that my tub of chips were fractured and broken little pieces, and it took longer to eat them, because I can pop a whole chip in my mouth with a bite of sandwich, no problem. And when I got done with my sandwich, I still had little chip fragments, and I thought, wow, this is how the rest of the world lives, I guess, where you're not just cramming food in so quick that you're not even processing. I do have a printable. I just posted it right before our workshop started, but I'll show you the printable. Now, mine's the plain Jane version. The one that's in the group to print off has the Holy Mess logo and some more stuff. Mine's the plain Jane version. But also on that, it talks about the Forever Fix. Now, we have many of our members are doing this Forever Fix for weight loss, and a few of our non-members are. It's open whether you're in the membership or not, and I've been practicing it for a couple of weeks and had really good success with it. And Terry and I got to sit in with Sarah one day this week while she presented it like she's going to present it in our Zoom. Our first Zoom will be August 23rd. And we're going through this next few months, safe eating. Structured, adequate, I always forget the F. E is enjoyable. Frequent? I gotta look. Oh no, I forgot the F. Now, what is the F? Don't you hate it when your brain falls out of your head? Safe, adequate, food groups. That's it. And enjoyment. I always get the E for enjoyment. Did you get it printed, Peggy? Awesome. It's a PDF, so you'll have to download it and then print. Julia said she had her 8-year-old grandson with her for breakfast and teaching him don't feed your food. Boy, don't you wish somebody had taught you that way back there? I do, because I always just crammed in one bite after the other. But this is the workshops that is coming up. Each month we'll be working through safe eating. Thank you guys for throwing in food groups. My brain fell out. The weight loss Forever Fix. And notice, fix your struggle. And I have learned so much in this. There's a couple of quizzes. I can even ask you one of the questions. Do you have a food tracking method that works for you, even if you use it only occasionally? That's one question. A lot of self-examination. I love these types of things. And Sarah gives us time to go through these questions, and then we talk about them. This one is one of those: one, it never happens; two, sometimes happens; three, sometimes happens. When I'm eating, I'm already thinking about what I'm going to eat next. Obviously, I put a 3 on that. Yeah, so guilty. What was interesting is the rolling river and the roller coaster. Terry and I, we absolutely mirrored each other on our rolling. Hey, Rita, come in. We absolutely mirrored each other on our rolling river. My calories start here of a morning. This was the day that we done this. My calories started here of a morning, went up, 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 up through the day to supper, and then fell down for a snack. The rolling river on your food eating should be more gentle peaks and valleys. I said mine was like cliffhangers. If you ever used to watch The Price is Right, remember the little guy, the cliffhanger guy? Mine was cliffhangers. And what I learned from this, and I think, Cherry, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you said you learned the same thing, is about how long our body is not being fed a high enough level of calories. Because from for supper here, all the way to breakfast the next morning, where you start out low again. And we burn most of our calories through the day, so that's just when we should be consuming them. So the Forever Fix, if you can at all, join us. It's going to be a wonderful Zoom. If you can't be there for the live, there will be a replay available. And go check it out. It's on the Holy Mess. There's a link on the printable for hungry versus not hungry versus cravings. Gotta get a drink. I've really been drinking a lot more water today. I got a lemon water at Sonic, and it kind of tastes like they washed my lemon in dishwater first. I don't know. Not getting a good lemon vibe, but I've almost drank it all. So, intuitive eating. You hear that term thrown out a lot. Intuitive eating and what it means. And when I think about intuitive, I think about having insight into what I'm eating and why I'm eating it. Hi, Sandy. Yeah, Terry's the same way. We're eating later in the day, not through the day when we're busy. Yeah, absolutely. I think, this is my thinking, I think that those people that naturally don't struggle with a weight problem, struggle at the plate, I think they have this innate intuitive eating quality in them, and I have to make myself. It's not a natural thing for me to eat intuitively. And learning real hunger and intuitive eating will help our weight loss. It helps us to stop before we're stuffed. Why hungry matters. Hungry does matter, and hunger awareness matters. When you eat only if your body needs fuel, your body becomes efficient at storing fat for fuel. Now, calories, food is energy. A calorie is a unit of measure of energy. That's all a calorie is. Either we spend it through normal body processes, through our activity, or we eat too many and we save them. And this saved energy is stored as fat. So if anybody ever pokes a little roll on you and says you got a little pudge there, say, no, that's my energy reserve. Just wait till I let it loose. And watch them look at you funny. So instead of stored fat, we have stored energy. Now, that sounds silly when I say it like that, but when we eat in a calorie deficit, and I'm not talking about extreme calorie restriction, that doesn't work either. Just a slight calorie deficit, our body says, hey, I've got some stuff I can burn hanging over here or down here on your hiney. I can burn some of that and get some energy. That's where weight loss occurs. So food is fuel, and it's energy. And The foundation of intuitive eating is working with your body instead of against it. Another thing that has disordered our ability to find hunger is diet rules. You know, I hate that word, diet, that tell you when to eat rather than your body telling you when to eat. So how do you know if it's hungry? How do you know if it's your adult or your toddler? We've been talking about those two a whole lot. Real hunger, you'll feel it in your stomach. You'll feel a hollow feeling, rumbly. I'm like Winnie the Pooh, a rumbly in my tumbly. Your belly may growl. It may hurt. Some people said they get a weak, shaky feeling. All of those are signs of real hunger. Okay, emotional or craving hunger starts in the head, not the stomach. And starting in the head, it tends to come on with a specific food in mind and a sudden urge. Now, if you just think about going through your day today, whenever lunchtime came, you're like, ooh, I'm starting to get a tiny bit hungry. I should probably go ahead and make my lunch. Okay, that is really true stomach hunger. As opposed to, it's lunchish time, somewhere near the vicinity of lunch, and you think, I need a cookie. I need a cookie right then. A cookie is what I need. That's more of head hunger than stomach hungry, because it was a sudden urge for a specific thing. So how fast did this, I hate to call it hungry pain, but this wanting to eat, let's say, how fast did it come on? Real hunger slowly builds over time. You don't just all of a sudden, it's like, oh my gosh, if I don't eat, I'm going to die. I have been to that point, but it's usually I've put it off. Maybe I was at a place where you couldn't get lunch or couldn't have a snack. Craving hits suddenly, and it's like, right now, in this moment, I must have this. I must eat it now, and nothing else will fix my stomach. Only what would fix? I talked about Oreos last week. Let's go with Butterfingers. Only a Butterfinger will fix my hunger, as opposed to, I'm just going to go ahead and eat my lunch. It's a little early. I'm not going to pay mind to the clock. I'm eating an hour earlier than I usually do, but I'm really hungry. I've been busy this morning. I've burned off some food. That's real hunger, as opposed to you find a Butterfinger, ooh, and nobody's claimed it, and nobody's watching, and all of a sudden, you're hungry for a Butterfinger. Those are cravings. Think of your toddler and your adult. Okay, now we're thinking about real hunger versus a craving hunger. Okay, if you're really truly stomach hungry, would you eat and I learned this in my first Weight Watcher workshop, would you eat an apple or would you eat some eggs if you're really truly hungry? There was a retired doctor in the Weight Watcher workshop I used to attend while losing weight, and he said, if you're really hungry, you'll eat an apple. I keep an apple here on my desk. It is a little rocket apple, one of these cute little baby apples. But I keep one of these in here in case I get, and I don't have any other food in here that I can think of, not even hid away. If I'm really hungry, I'm going to eat an apple, and I'm going to be thankful for it and be happy that I had an apple in my purse if I'm really, truly hungry. If I'm not really hungry and I'm craving and I think I'm going to eat and I pull out an apple, what does your head say? What does my face say? I'd rather have a Butterfinger. I don't want an apple. I want ice cream. That's what I'm hungry for, ice cream. That's a craving, and that's our head telling us what to eat instead of our stomach. Our stomach will be grateful for an apple and thankful for an apple. And that's a good way to start learning. I had, and I still struggle with this, I had no concept of hunger before I started Weight Watchers. Yes, I would get hungry, but when you weigh 488 pounds, you're not getting really hungry very much of the time, because I called it a feeding frenzy. I just ate all the time. My stomach wasn't given a break. As soon as I would eat one thing, it wouldn't be 30 minutes later, I was eating something else. And one thing, I was always following Weight Watchers, really good about 3 meals and 3 snacks a day. That was the way I had my day structured. Just in the last, since I've started working on the Forever Fix, eating more calories, trying to spread them more evenly, my app will ding and say, you've not recorded a snack. I've stopped morning snacks altogether. I don't even have morning snacks anymore. Afternoon snacks are really sporadic. Very rarely do I have an afternoon snack, and if I do, it's usually a fruit or a yogurt if I'm really hungry. And I think that's because I'm getting adequate nutrition through the day and learning to spread my calories out and have enough food. Now, me and my bedtime snack, that's quite a bit up in the head. I do get hungry at night, but mostly I'm like a little toddler. I won't. So that's still an area to work on. We're going to talk about the hunger and fullness scale. And this goes 1 through 10. And there's something you can print out so you don't have to worry about taking notes. 0 on the hungry scale is you are starving. Maybe you're shaking, you're weak, you're trembly, you have a headache, you're getting irritable. We should never wait that long to eat, because that will almost always lead to overeating down the road. So we don't want to wait until we are literally symptomatic that bad of hunger. Number 1, we're going up a little higher. I'm very hungry. My stomach is growling. My energy's kind of dropped. I'm just not thinking really good. I'm just, kind of blah. Okay, we don't need to get that hungry. Number 2, my stomach's starting to feel kind of empty. You know that feeling. It's like I could eat. Food's starting to sound pretty good. It sounds appealing. Okay, number 3, this is where we want to start thinking about eating. It's when we feel gentle hunger. That's a good place to start. Slight stomach pangs, not pain, slight feelings in your stomach. Food is starting to sound pretty good, but you're not desperate or urgent like you were back in 0, 1, or 2 levels, to where you're just starving. You've waited too late. Every time I get in starvation mode like that, I overeat. Every single time. And if I don't overeat that day, in 2 or 3 days, I will have an episode of overindulging if I do without for too many days. 4 is neutral. Wow, neutral. Neutral's a nice position to be in. Not really hungry, not really full. Food sounds okay, but again, we're not urgent. 5. Now, let's assume we've eaten something and you're comfortable. You're not thinking about food anymore. Oh, I would like that. That comfortable would be nice. You're not thinking about food, and you can stop eating at any time. So you started with gentle hunger, and you ate a little more, and you're not really hungry, not really full. And then you get to level 5, which is probably when I should start stopping instead of cleaning my plate. But I'm comfortable. If I stopped eating right now, if I had to set my plate down because company came, I'd be okay. My belly wouldn't be arguing with me. Number 6, that's our ideal place to stop, is level 6. Level 3, gentle hunger, is the ideal starting place, and comfortably full is our ideal stopping point. Comfortably full, you feel a little heavy in your stomach, you're feeling the food, you're satisfied, but you're not stuffed. We know that stuffed feeling, where you can't eat another bite, but you did anyway. That's right. The sigh at 5. That's good, Helene. Yes, I'm fixing to tell everybody about what we learned last night. Number 7 is I'm full. My stomach feels stretched out. I probably need to undo the waistband on my pants. I've got on a dress, so I ain't got to worry about that. I've got to undo my waistband on my pants. I'm uncomfortable. Level 8, very full. I'm sluggish. I wished I hadn't have ate one more piece of bread. I wished I hadn't got a second helping of whatever. Stuffed is when you have eaten so much that you're in significant discomfort. You have to loosen your clothes. You kind of eat so much you kind of feel nauseous. The idea of one more bite, it's like, oh, I can't eat another bite. And 10, we call it Thanksgiving full. You're painfully stuffed. You're laying down, groaning, and it's ugly. It's unpleasant. We've all eaten to that point, I'm sure. So our goal is to be a 3 and a 4, 5, somewhere in there. Start at 3, 4, gentle hunger. Stop between a 6 and a 7 where we're comfortable. And this is something that we've got to learn. I have to learn this because I'm either starving or stuffed. And so in other words, I'm either a 9 or a 10 or a 1 or a 2. Not a big range in there. And this is something we have to practice on, and it varies from day to day. It varies from situation to situation. So apparently, when our bodies were being made, we have an alarm system. I didn't even know I had this till Sarah. So I was like yesterday years old when I learned that our body will naturally give a sigh when we reach satisfaction with a meal. I'm like, mine don't do that. My body don't have that button. I'm going to have to get one of those put in. Totally did not get that. It's that sigh, and it's not like, if you've ever read Junie B. Jones, I used to love the kids' books, Junie B. Jones, she would talk about doing a huffy. It's not that kind of sigh. It's more like just a gentle air let out. When you do it, you'll immediately know. I knew today because I was firmly convinced I was not going to do that. I didn't have that capability in my body, and I had actually stopped, and I was eating mindfully. Slowly, I reached over to get a drink, and when I set my glass down, I went, and I thought, oh my gosh, I did it. Mine works. I didn't know it, and I got really excited. Now I want to test it again and learn how to work on this sigh. Okay, this sigh, it's like a sigh of contentment after a satisfying meal. Now, not a stuffed meal, a satisfied meal. It means that you're full, that you're at ease, and the exact scientific mechanism isn't really lined out. It has to do with our vagus nerve, if you want to dig deep, and I didn't dig that deep. But our body's rest and digest rhythm. When you eat, you put all that food in, your gut has to shift gears and start digesting and change what it's doing. So this can lead to a decrease in heart rate. This is normal. Slowed breathing, which can include a sigh. That can also produce that sense of relaxation. So that's the sigh everybody is talking about, is when you're eating. And I would say for me, I was about 2/3 through my lunch today when I just gently done that. And I thought, maybe one day I can learn intuitive eating. When I think of somebody that says, I don't follow a diet, I don't track, I just eat when I'm hungry. I'm like, well, I wake up hungry, I go to sleep hungry, I'm hungry anytime, I can always eat, that won't work for me. But we can learn to be more intuitive with our bodies. and learn to be like all those other people out there that eats when they're hungry and stops when they're gently full and doesn't overindulge. And I really think that we can learn to do that even with a treat. I really believe we can. So practical tips for tuning into your body. Before you eat, rate your hunger on that hungry scale. 0 to 10. Are you starving or are you already stuffed? Did you eat coming home and then you get home and think you need to eat again? So think about, how hungry am I? Slow down. That's what we're working on. Slow down. Remember, there's a 20-minute disconnect between brain and stomach. So it takes 20 minutes of eating for our brain to signal our stomach, you're starting to get full. Now, I can do a lot of damage in 20 minutes if I am cramming food down as fast. I mean, I'm talking like half a cake in 20 minutes if I'm just cramming something down, as opposed to eating mindfully, slowly, getting a drink with my meals, chewing each bite and making it all leave my mouth before I get another bite, slowing down. And like I said, I know it took me at least 30 minutes, maybe a little longer, to eat a sandwich and a thing of chips, because I chewed it till I chewed it, and didn't stick a chip in with my sandwich. I either had a bite of sandwich or a bite of chip. And when I noticed that sigh, I was like, yeah, I'm comfortable. I'm not stuffed. I'm not still hungry. I'm comfortable. Staying hydrated is very important, because just a little bit of dehydration can mimic hunger. I've heard studies where people said there's nothing to do with that. Personally, if I have something I'm sipping on, I don't get as hungry as if I have nothing. And maybe it's just the idea of having some intake some way. Start noticing patterns. Journal what you're doing. Jungle your hunger level. And say, I ate a bedtime snack when I was at a 9, for instance. I wasn't just really that hungry, but the clock told me I should eat. So start noticing your patterns. When do you think about eating? When do you feel hunger? And this is one of those things that's so simple that we miss it. You can eat any time you want to. And it's like, well, I can. You don't have a taskmaster standing over you, telling you you have to eat right now. You can put it off a little bit, or you can eat early, you can eat late. Hello, girls. My girls came in here. You can eat anytime. The food is not going to disappear because you surfed the urge. That's what they say in Weight Watchers, surf the urge. It's Ecclesiastes 3:13, that each of them may eat and drink and find satisfaction in all their toil. This is a gift from God. Finding satisfaction. It's a gift, and I would receive that as a gift, absolutely. That I could know that when I eat and when I drink, to be satisfied is a gift, absolutely. So I've never thought about satisfaction with food as a gift, but it is. And you're satisfied not because you overstuffed or overate or you gave in to a craving, but you honored your body with healthy food that was nutritional, nurturing, fueled and filled you.